Kelly Shaw, Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization. I'm in southern Colorado. I'm stopping at Bigfoot sighting locations. I'm visiting 4 or 5 of them during this expedition. I'm going to pick up the camera and talk about the Bigfoot sighting that happened in this general area.
This is Jenny Higley from RMSO, bringing you a sighting report from Colorado. This sighting happened in Montezuma County, Colorado, August of 2001 in the Jersey Gym Lookout Tower area near Mancos between Durango and Cortez. The witness states, "We pulled into camp on a rainy night about midnight. Cows were in the camp and began to leave. As they were leaving, we heard what I thought was a bull making upset noises at us. It was a throaty, guttural, huffing noise, only the pitch never varied to a higher note at the end, like a bull bellowing. Only the so-called bull never left with the herd. That, and I never recall seeing the bull in the herd to begin with. After 15 or 20 minutes of the huffing in front of us, it got really quiet. Then my sister heard a noise in the woods behind her that sounded like an angry growl. I told her it was only the dogs growling at something. She informed me, no, both of my dogs were right there with her. It's not them. So she pulled out her pistol and turned and faced the direction the growls were coming from, and I went to get my rifle. Then it got real quiet again. We didn't hear any more strange noises that night. Whatever it was, I feel it knew what a gun was. My dogs never barked or went to investigate anything either. They stayed right with us all night. They are watchdogs at home and have been camping with us numerous times. They seemed to want our protection this time. The next night, we heard something stirring around out in the woods. I became real uneasy because everything went dead silent. So we went hastily to bed in the camper, dogs and all, and locked everything up tight. During the night, my sister said she was looking out the window at the sky and stars when suddenly all she could see was a black mat over the window, as something had moved in front of it, covering the view. She and her boys heard the dogs growling, low warning sounds in their throats, and the boys saw something big and black. The following evening, we broke camp about an hour before dark, and once again, everything became deathly quiet. We had an eerie feeling of being watched. We finished loading up about dark, and as we started to leave, it became a downpour. I was driving slow down the mountain, about 5 to 10 miles an hour for safety reasons. At one point, my sister commented about one lone bushy pine tree amongst a grove of aspens as the headlights flashed across them. About halfway down the mountain, another vehicle caught up with us and informed me my doors were open on my trailer. So we stopped to close them. My lock had been broken. When we got to town, we stopped at a gas station, and there I noticed handprints and muddy smears on the camper. They were too high for any of us to reach and were way bigger than any of ours. One of the handprints was very clearly, to me, one belonging to what appeared to be primate. That is when I noticed the lock had not only been broken, but clearly the lock had been twisted until it broke, instead of just popping off, like I thought at first. Obviously, we were coming down off the mountain slow enough for whatever we had heard to follow us and check out our trailer. We had just built the camper on the trailer, and it was a nice shiny sheet metal one with the door opening on the rear of the trailer. The follow-up investigation reported by BFRO investigator Stephen Coy goes on to read, "I visited the family in their home in New Mexico a week later. I spent almost an hour and a half with them discussing their experience and investigating the trailer. There were still observable signs on it, though much had faded or washed away. Some of the signs, or handprints, were above the window, where the sister had observed the black mat against the window in the middle of the night. Also at the back of the trailer toward the top, which was 8 feet from the ground, was one of the mud smearings. This investigator is 6'2", and the tips of his fingers fell a foot short of the prints when he stretched up to try to reach them. On the opposite side of the trailer, there was still a definable print of what appeared to be the right handprint of a primate. The right edge of the hand was discernible, and 12.5 inches up from the palm were the fingertips. I would guess the fingers were curled up at this time because it seems the creature was filling out the trailer in the night. The occupants heard what sounded like fingernails being scraped over sheet metal. A tarp was tied down over the unweatherproof top with bungee cords. Twice a cord at the rear corner of the trailer was twanged during the nighttime experience. The witness is very intrigued by the Bigfoot mystery and was anxious to return to the site. I noted, however, that her husband stated he would just as soon not go back. In summary, it is a very intriguing experience reported by the witnesses. I am convinced they were visited by what appears to be a Bigfoot-like creature. No photos were taken of the prints, as the investigator believes any effort attempted would have brought about very poor results. The evidence could only be seen at certain angles of the light. Thank you for listening. Keep on watching, because we're going to keep on squatching. Yeah, seeing big cats in the wild is kind of hard.
Oh, yeah, there he goes.
You guys don't see him?
Oh, yeah. You can see the big old tufts of hair at the end of his ears.
No.
I don't see him now.
That was cool.
Well, I think I recorded him for like 5 seconds.